Welcome to the Slade Ham experiment. How are you? Yes, specifically you. It means you made it all the way here, and now we're talking through the miracles of electrons going through the air and then hitting your earballs. I don't know how anything works, yet somehow look at us. Cheers. This is my show. I'm Slade Ham. I'm your host. We almost didn't get an episode in this week. I have had an enormous amount of personal stuff to deal with. Nothing tragic, nothing horrible. Everything's fine. Just busy. So I almost punted this week, and then I remembered that we should all do this. We should all have conversations with ourselves about commitments we make, even if they're to no one other than ourselves. That's what the show mainly is on the weekends for me. So welcome aboard. I don't know. This episode might be 5 minutes long and it might be an hour. It's not going to be an hour, but we'll see. I keep a document running every week where when there are random thoughts that I think I might want to cover on the show, I go write them down. And then usually before I tape at some point, I sit down with them and I organize them at least into here's the order I'm going to talk about them in. Here's the things I might want to say. And then we just see what happens. But there's order underneath the chaos. There's the attempt at laying a foundation before I just go building a house. Yet today, I haven't even looked at these. Sometimes I write them down sleepy. Sometimes I write them down really sleepy. I don't know. So I don't know what's in here. We will just see. It's mainly words. Beeper store. Oh, yes. Look at that. I accidentally saw a news story. Let's see what this is. There's a link to the. I know. You know what? I could just pull it up on my phone. My phone's over there. It doesn't matter what happened. If you aren't paying attention to the news, like I often don't pay attention to the news. In Lebanon, there was an attack. And a bunch of, this is going to sound made up, a bunch of pagers exploded like firecrackers across the whole country. Pop, 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 pop. Just blowing people's hips off. I shouldn't be this lax about that much loss of human life. But when the world is as full of these types of events as it seems to be lately, and as much as the media wants to present it to us in the form of a dramatically tense story, which is all they're doing. They're just presenting us a storyline to follow, and then they drag that out for as long as they can. We know that. If this was a television show, what's happening in the Middle East? No, I'm not talking about any specific area. I just mean in general. And you told me that your big finale for this season was to make a bunch of beepers blow up. I would laugh you out of the writer's room. Yet here we are. What a brilliant plan. Is this the Middle Eastern equivalent of spitting in a customer's food that you don't like? I don't know how this happened. There were like thousands of explosions across the country. I should have pulled the actual story up. Hezbollah, the villains in that part of the Middle East in season 3, they use pagers to communicate because, ironically enough, cell phones became too dangerous. So like their doctors in the 90s, they put pagers, I guess doctors today, like anyone in the 90s, they had pagers on so that when they get beeped, they could go, I guess, could go beep. I don't know what your job might be in Hezbollah. There's possible some of them are accountants. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to do the janitorial work in the headquarters. Is that like, and somebody's working in the Hezbollah mailroom, right? I don't know what the job is, why you have to get the pager. But they all of the members had pagers on. And I guess someone from where? From Israel managed to sabotage all of how. This is why I giggle, because my brain gets to this part of the story. I'm sure there's an explanation for it, but I did Hezbollah send, you know how in every, not every, but in a lot of dramas, there's always the villain, but then somehow his inept cousin or little brother or somebody is his henchman, and they give him one job. I think Shogun might be a good example of this. Sweet Tooth, the same thing. They give the guy a job and he's bumbling and he flubs it. Someone's so far down on the Hezbollah totem pole and they were sent out to pick up the beepers. You have one job. And he's, I can do this, uncle. And then he goes to pick up and I guess he was like Jack and the Beanstalk. He saw a better deal. Wait, I can get Hezbollah beepers for this amount, and I don't what accent is that? I'm doing Russian. The point is, did he make a did he make a judgment? Oh wait, I can save some money on these beepers over here because some Israelite came over, or the Israelites came over, and Israelis. I don't know, a member of the Israeli military, God, this is so touchy, comes over and sets up a little booth like he's at a fair or a farmer's market. He's got the little table and the pop-up tent and a sign that says cheaper beepers or what, cheaper beepers, whatever. And he's just, no, these are beepers. I can save you $1 a beeper. And then they got in one of those Middle Eastern haggling arguments. And the guy goes back thinking, he's buying 2,000 beepers. He saves $1 a beeper. No, these are real. These are regular beepers. No, ignore the fuse. Ignore that is new feature. Like, what is the... Also, why can I not do another accent other than Russian? What is wrong? I just have to know the scenario where a terrorist organization is infiltrated by a box of communication devices, all of them with exploding things inside, and no one's maybe I don't know how the world works. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I read the wrong story and there's a perfectly good explanation for this and I'm just an idiot. It's possible. But I wrote down beeper store, and I guess that's what I meant by that. I wrote down debate, and I don't know why. I watched it. This isn't a political show. I'm not a political person. I should preface this by saying that. I don't care. And I don't care what other people do either. But sometimes I have friends on both sides of a political spectrum. I know people as far to the left as well past my comfort zone, and people far to the right well past my comfort zone. And most of the people I know fall in that messy middle. They're just confused like the rest of us, and disappointed. But I said, I'll watch this debate. There's never been a debate involving certain personalities that doesn't turn into an absolute circus-like shit show. And I'm here for that. I'm here for the entertainment. So I watched, and I saw I saw statements about all the statements about they're eating the dogs in Springfield, and they're letting she wants the transgender illegal aliens to have sex change operations in prison, and whatever other nonsense was screamed. And both sides just make stuff up. And I like to watch the modern day fact check happen. It makes me long for the days when candidates could just say stuff and there was no fact checking. And I kind of miss that. I kind of am disappointed that more people didn't take advantage of it. There are no tales of presidential candidates back before they could live check you like you're on Jeopardy. No one in the 50s or 40s was like, his constituents are eating dogs. What would you have done if someone had said that? That would have hit the papers, and that would have gone around, and then they would have built a fence around Springfield. So I don't care. But when I hear statements like that made in scenarios like this, and then I say out loud that they're crazy, I feel gaslit when people are like, no, I mean, it's just part of who he is. Anytime, I love people having different beliefs. I don't want to feel like I'm the crazy person for finding some of this crazy. I got my friends on the far right. Far. I know it doesn't matter where he lives. In the wild somewhere, basically. He wears the hat, the red one. And that's where I get checked out. Like, it's one thing to be willing to sacrifice certain things for some things, right? All right, yeah, I'll tolerate that, but this comes with it, and make a logical argument. I have people close to me that do that. But to act like that's your champion, like, not only is this behavior, it's choosing the lesser of the two evils, right? Hear me out. This is one of those cases where it's the left and the right in this country, remove the independent candidates, have become like trying to figure out if you have a UTI or an STD. Those will be the two things. And then you find out, regardless of which candidate wins, you're like, oh, thank God, it was just a urinary tract infection. You still should not be celebrating. You definitely would not go out and buy a urinary tract infection hat and tell, but that's my disease. I love my UTI. You would never do that. You would suffer with it quietly and be happy that it wasn't worse. But you would never get a make my pee painful again hat. I don't know. It's a bad analogy. That's why we prep, and I didn't. And I don't know why any of this is written down. Even if someone did, this is why I don't care. Even if someone voted for, I don't know what the law or the bill or the thing was that would green light sex change operations for illegal aliens in prison. But say they did. My question, this is the research I need to go do. Was it just a bill for that? Did someone introduce a bill like, hey, there's got a lot of illegal aliens in prison who are trying to change genders. And some of them just to get out of the male prison. We understand it. But we're going to subsidize that. Is that, even if that was the case, and it's not, because no bill is a thing by itself. It's always crammed full of other stuff. I mean, it's the transgender prison people, but also groceries for old people. So, an air conditioner, so they could die if you want to stop it, or you could just let it go through. Is it one of those cases? They always slip something in. Gender reassignment for pets until the age of 18 or what? It's always some nonsense on top of some nonsense. Why can't we just, this country would be so much easier if there were only like 300 people in it. You know that? What else? There's a new version of AI, of OpenAI coming out, the new Chat GPT. I think they're calling it 1.0 or something like that. It's supposed to reason better, be better at coding, be better at higher level math problems and spatial geometry and things that require what they call reasoning. I hope so, because what we have so far while things like Chat and Claude are good, useful tools to me as an individual, the AI that has permeated the rest of this world is, dare I say, retarded. The Facebook prods me. There's been a dude sending me memes for about 7 years. I probably have, if I had to guess, 6,000 messages from this guy. I've never checked one. The only time I open them is to make the notification go away. But Facebook will ask me every 3 to 5 days, hey, so-and-so sent you a message. Would you like to respond? Where is the large language? You don't need a large language model. You need a small language model for such a thing. How can you not identify the pattern, Meta, with all of your wizardry and money? We're just prompting you for engagement. You want me to engage? Make my experience more like I want it. Why is this so hard? I need $1 trillion, and then I will fix everything. All right, not everything. What else did I write down? Anything? We should call this one. Where are we at? How far is the environment allowed to go? What does that mean? What if trees started growing guns? I wrote it down. I should think about it. What if, I know what I must have meant by that. You ever think about, I'm involved in a lot of climate related projects right now. I have a company. We invented a paint that sequesters CO2 from the air. And if I haven't talked about it, turns it into a carbonate when it comes in contact with this particular additive to the paint. Now, I talk to people in environmental circles. I have conversations about this kind of thing. I believe that the earth, in its own way, is bigger than us. We are, without getting all metaphysical, we're probably a blip on the overall radar of it all. Tiny dot in the billions of years that this planet will have been a planet. I was going to verb that, but I couldn't. In the years that this planet has planeted, it will be fine when we're gone. It was fine before we got here. Our problems with the planet and its current state have to do with our compatibility with it, right? It's going to be fine. But we do have to, I think, do some things to make sure that we're capable of continuing to live here. So sometimes when I think about it, we should just let the earth be what the earth is and we shouldn't interfere. But then I'm like, wait a second. We're part of the earth. We're part of the ecosystem. We're part of this natural life cycle. At some point, we have some autonomy. At some point, we're an animal in the biome with the rights and abilities to compete against the others. Predator versus predator. We say, just let the wilds grow back as they should. Well, what if trees grew guns? Then, where would Greenpeace be then? Just let them. You just got to let the trees shoot some people every now and again. No, we would all be out there with chainsaws chopping the earth to pieces. If every day we had to live in a world where trees shot acorns at your car, and we're just twisted metal in our way through society, we would not be so, just let the earth breathe. No, fuck the earth. It is trying to kill us. I would love to see us fight an ant army of trees throwing gumballs and peanuts growing trees. The bushes would fight us too. Walking down the street and just watermelons. Ka-dunk. We would fight back. So at what point do we decide that we're going to live with the earth as it is? And at what point do we decide that our interference is okay? And I think like all things, it's arbitrary and situational, and we feel the way we feel because of the position we're in, usually. What else? Anything? All right, that's the end of this page. Oh, I wrote down birthday dinners, and that's not even really a thing. I got to save the date the other day about a birthday dinner, and it's not even it's a birthday. Save the date for a birthday. You're a grown-ass man. Grown as grown can be. This isn't even a special birthday. It doesn't have a 0 on the end. Nothing. You're too old for your car insurance to go down, or for you to join the military, or learn to smoke or drink. All that's behind you. This is not a celebratory day. This is a terrible day. You got to add another number to that number you tell people when they ask about your number. Throw a party for this shit. You quietly hope people forget about it, and you can keep telling them what you were 4 or 5 years ago. Throw a party, much less save the date. You want me to save the date, you better either be turning 100 or be Indian. I feel like they throw huge parties, right? Or those just weddings. With the elephants, if you get an elephant for your birthday, I am saving the whole date, morning to night, so I can kick it with the elephant. But I'm not going to save a date if we're just all going to Carrabba's. That's not going to happen. Happy birthday to you, but assalamu alaikum. All right. That's it. That's all that's in here. I didn't write anything. I wrote down 6 words, and we somehow talked for 20 minutes. I don't know. I thank you for hanging out if you made it this far and indulging this nighttime, midnight spaceship brain. Cool things coming up. I'm working on a couple of things. I'm still writing the book. I'm still doing there's some other stuff. I don't know. I'm still in this publish little, write a lot mode. But you're here. So if you get a chance, hit that little sub button, the like button, turn on the notifications. All of that helps immensely, and probably would have helped more if I'd said it at the beginning of the show where I should have. So double click it if you can on behalf of the people who missed it. The special's out, All Things Me at sladeham.com. Shows coming up. Also, I think I'm going to be in Houston with Matthew Broussard in October. And then with Andy Huggins in November at the Vulcan Gas Company in Austin. Some cool shows that I'm not headlining but a part of. And then my full schedule there as well. Sladeham.com. We're going to take this midnight spaceship into spaceport. And I will see you on another episode soon.